Hello YouTube, today I'm going to be showing you how I go about making a song. So the program I use is FL Studio, the FL Studio 20 to be exact. So this is what I've been using for about a year and a half now, I think actually. Yeah, about a year and a half exactly. So I know everyone says Ableton is the better option for like professionally producing music, but I find FL Studio to work just fine. It's not too expensive for the full version, about $200 if you want to be able to like put samples and everything directly into the playlist, which I highly recommend you do because it saves you a lot of time with like stretching symbols and stuff. Yeah. So I bought the $200 version, and I've also bought Serum, and I bought Harmor, and I think that's it for second, or like, not, what am I saying? Yeah, that's what I bought for plugins. So usually what I do whenever I'm going about making a song is I start out with some kind of either a melody at the beginning or a chord progression. In this case, it's a melody. I started out making this. It's kind of spooky. Actually, now that I think about it, how I actually started this song was, if you come over here, I was just randomly experimenting with sounds in Serum, and I made this. You can't really, wait. Yeah, I made that. And then I kind of just built it from there, and at first I just had a normal, like, not that, it was more like, I don't know, I'll make it real quick. It's more like, just like kick and snare. Yeah, well, I don't know what that is. So I started out with that, and I was like, I kind of like that. So I built off of it, and I added the delay, which if you listen to it, it gives it this cool like swashing effect, I guess. Yeah. And then I changed the pattern and stuff so it was more like. Then I added more basses that I made. Did I make this? Yeah. I don't know exactly what I did for this one. I have some compression, some distortion. I put the hyper on there. All these basses, I don't exactly know what I'm doing with them. I just kind of experiment and they come about. So yeah, from there, I was like, I kind of like how this is sounding. So I took a break from the drop. I moved over to the beginning and I was like, what could I do that would fit with this drop? So then I made this melody. If you've ever listened to Ehide, it's kind of similar to his song Cult, which I wasn't originally intending for it to sound like that. It just kind of happened. So what I did was I took Harmor, I found the bell sound, which is the forest. It just sounds like it's just typical mallet percussion instrument. What I did with this was I put some reverb, I put a filter, I put an EQ, oh yeah, that. We'll get to that in a few seconds. So yeah, I made the melody, I made it fade in. Then I added this ambient sound in the background. It's kind of creepy. And then from there, I added the chords. which if you listen to any of my songs, I really like to overuse the choir that comes stock with FL Studio, which if you don't have the money to get like Omnisphere or something, it's actually really helpful, because if you come here, you can make it sound pretty good just by post-processing. That's just reverb. So yeah. Then I add some sub over here, so it's... Yeah, you can hear it. It's just sub in the background, and then some brass. I like having my background sounds kind of filtered out and low passed, because it gives it like this out in the distance feel, kind of. Then here I put this little snare thing. Then I have this. You can't really hear it that much in this song, but it is there. Then this... That on its own doesn't sound very good, but then I also have the, if you listen closely, you can hear this bass like fade out a little bit, and it kind of sounds like it's part of the bass. I don't know if you can hear that. But yeah. So from there, I added these saws in the background that kind of fade in. It's a different pattern than you hear in the choir, and it kind of like clashes with it a little bit, but it's also cool. And then right here I have this little fill. So I like to abuse reverse cymbals a lot. I usually just use the same ones over and over again, but it does work pretty good. So after I had this beginning part all sorted out, I was like, I kind of want something in the very beginning. So I took this bell sound, I recorded it into Edison, and then I reversed it and then put it at the beginning, and it sounds like this. Yeah. Also, to give your songs a little bit of oomph, I usually put an impact right here. And just like, it's a good start for your song. So over here, for the build-up, I pretty much just took all this, I got rid of the sub, and then, yeah. Because there's sub, I think, in with the growl here. So that fills up, that substitutes for this sub bass. So yeah. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention I have this little arp here. So you just add some risers and stuff, and some snares, and you add some build sounds, and then you can have an effective build-up just by keeping the same structure as the rest of the song, just adding some builds and risers and stuff. What I always like to do is have the kick come in and then just do this repeatedly, getting faster pattern, like yeah. Then I have the growls fading in, which gives it a nice, like, teases at what the drop's gonna sound like. So yeah, if you put that together, it sounds like this. got this vocal that I just found randomly at Splice.
I'm gonna kill every one of you.
Doesn't sound too good alone, but with everything it sounds good.
I'm gonna kill every one of you.
So for the drop, I pretty much just took a bunch of impacts and stuff and I layered it over the growls. Every 8 bars I like to have something that's like rising, and then after that I fade out everything and then just have the growl itself. It's like a new growl, like a little fill there. And then it comes into the second part, and then after 4 bars of that, I have the growl kind of fade out, and then yeah. So after 16 bars of the first half of the drop, I like to transition it into a little I don't know exactly what to call it. It's like a second build kind of. And usually I like to base the second drop out of around like triplets. So you can hear this right. I pretty much just took a spaghetti bass and I made it triplets, and yeah, that's all it is. So then after this drop, it goes right back into the original intro. Just now it's not low passed at all. So pretty much for the second half, it's just that. It's the same structure, just with sub in, and then, yeah, over here, same build up, but the second drop introduces a new bass that sounds like this. I like that because it kind of sounds like spooky-ish, which is what I'm going for with this song. It's like vibrato, kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, I like it. And then over here, it just goes right back into the triplet part of the drop. Yeah. And then after that, goes right back into the very beginning, and then that fades out. Oh, also one more thing I forgot to mention: if you listen to each end of a drop segment, it ends with. I don't know, I like that as a little transition. Yeah, and then from there I just add some automation and stuff, some more atmospheres, some reverse crashes, some cymbals, some hi-hats. You pretty much just fill up the space with stuff that mixes well with your songs. So in here, it's just a bunch of reverb and stuff, some wave shapers. Yeah. So that is how I structured my songs, pretty much. At least the dubstep sides of them. If you listen to them, you should hear a common theme. Maybe some slight variations, but this is pretty much what I go by. I hope you found this tutorial a little bit helpful. If you have any pointers for me, leave them in the comments, but I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.